Warren Logan, at the age of 43, has created a multi-million-euro hair and beauty business. Working with his mother and sister, Warren's business, Hairspray, has emerged during recession as a successful market leader. For the next 8 days, Warren will leave his life in Dublin and will live on the equivalent of social welfare. Under the guise of presenting a documentary on youth issues, Warren will look for people and charities he feels he can help.
I've made a connection there, and I'm not on the fence about doing some good there. I'm going to do some good there.
At the end of his stay, he will part with tens of thousands of euro and reveal himself as the secret millionaire.
I'm incredibly driven. Maybe it's a little bit of a dysfunctional driven, but I have to get there. It's unstoppable. What drives me is when I was younger, we didn't have any money. The fear that my mother would be broke, my sister would be broke. I don't want to be broke.
At 43, Warren has achieved financial stability and success, but he hasn't always had it so easy, growing up in a difficult and troubled environment.
When my family broke up, I looked at it as a train crash. And sometimes in a train crash, you just want to get out and run. It was a broken home that I lived in. And even at that age, I felt nearly like, you know, if I was running this myself, I could probably make it better.
Now, Warren has a range of businesses, from IT to retail, but his hair and beauty chain, Hairspray, is his main focus.
Welcome again to Hairspray's YouTube channel. As you can see, we have something a little bit special for you this morning. It's the Hairspray Extra Long Clip-In Hair Extension.
I had Warren when I was 16 years of age. His father was in prison, and when he came out of prison, he was a very, very difficult person to live with at that point, and he was very, very tough on Warren. So Warren had a very difficult childhood. When his father was really hard on him, he'd dust himself down and go, "It's okay, Mom, it's okay," you know? And emotionally, he just went inside himself.
That's it, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I lived in that terror also, and I turned to alcohol. So he had a double whammy of parents. It shaped his life for his future because it gave him the strength that he needs today. So Warren, at a very young age, started to become very self-sufficient. I think he started to make his own money around 10.
I want to actually see what the reaction is with the customers first.
With the synthetic pieces?
Yeah.
There's a massive part of my life that I've always had difficulty with, and that is in relationships, trusting people. Now, tell me about that piece there. I do like to control things. I sit up in my HQ and I just run operations from there. And I like to be here because if something goes awry, I like to know about it. Hot selling colours out in the middle of the eye section.
Perfect.
Is that right then?
Okay, so it's in the eye line.
Yeah.
He has a gift for people and business. He has that. Whatever he touches turns to gold. He thinks differently to most people. He's razor sharp. He cuts through things immediately. So he has zero fear. He has no fear because of where he grew up. There is no fear anymore.
I left school just before my intercert. I was about 14 years of age. I was an angry young lad. There was a lot of divilment out and we were getting in trouble and there was just nothing else doing. And, you know, thankfully my granny was there. She gave me the belief to say I can do anything I want. We had an amazing relationship. She died in that room up there. And it was painful. It was painful at the time. So, as I said, I owe her everything. She's a great woman.
Warren will now say goodbye to his friends and family before setting off on his unknown journey.
I'm heading down tomorrow. I have to say, I am a little bit nervous. Are you going to miss me?
Oh my God, how are we going to survive?
I am very apprehensive because I'm totally out of my comfort zone on this. But I just look at it as like everything else. This is a totally new challenge.
Get a journal so you can write it.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's going, but I know wherever he's going, at the end of it, he's going to find the great results.
Best of luck, Warren. The very best. Very best.
Cheers, Mum.
My nightmare scenario is looking like a total idiot, that people go, who's this pretentious person coming down here, waving a check? Because it's a fine line and we're in difficult times. You know, I have to really just try and be honest because it's difficult for people out there at the moment.
The day has arrived for Warren to leave his secure life in Dublin. He's saying goodbye to the comforts of home and family. Warren will take the train south to Cork, where his journey will begin.
For me to go away and be off the radar for 8 days was scary stuff. And when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to be very, very nervous about it. But once I'm down there and I'm in the mix, I'll be happy and I think I'll feel a sense of relief once I'm just physically there.
Warren is heading for a house that will be his home for the next 8 days. Away from the hustle and bustle of Cork's busy tourist areas, Warren will have to adapt to living on minimum wage and cooking and cleaning for himself.
What are you looking for?
Riverview House.
Riverview House. Doesn't ring any bells.
No problem at all. Okay then. Thanks very much.
Do you want me to look it up?
No, that's all.
No, just here.
Oh, have you? Okay, great.
Give me 1 minute there. If you go up that way, turn there, and then so that row of houses.
Yeah, brilliant.
It has the smell of when I used to go to the holiday home when I was a kid. Wow. This is like, you'd have to be very vertically challenged to look at that. This is so... My width is nearly the size of the shower. This is going to be fun in the morning. So, oh, God. That's a great to know that if things don't work out, I can run home very quickly. I'll probably do a Steve McQueen on the back of that. I brought so many shirts. Yeah. It's my diary for all my notes. Toothpaste I forgot.
Only minutes after arriving in the house, Warren finds an unexpected message from his mother.
I'm sorry I cannot speak to you, but to find out how you are getting on. I hope the current journey, you discover an inner strength which finally puts a closure to many things that may have troubled you in the past. But Gran, the whole family, wish you all the very best. I love you very much, Mum, Rod, and the rest of the family. That's just hit a nerve, you know. It's just in the ground. It's a lovely letter. You know, me and my sister and my mother, we don't discuss a lot of what happened back then because it was a difficult time for all of us. Going over things again can be a little bit raw. I couldn't even read it properly because I'm only down here and I don't want to start choking up already, I'll be honest with you, but I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it right. Tomorrow, I'm looking forward to really hitting the streets and getting a feel of the city and trying to get myself really pointed in the right direction. If I focus, as I said, on the job in hand, and just be honest with myself, I hope I can get this whole thing right, you know?
Warren Logan is a successful businessman. He is living undercover in Cork City. After living there for 8 days, he will give away thousands of euro and reveal himself as the secret millionaire. It's Warren's first day in his new home, where under the guise of presenting a documentary about youth issues, he'll be looking to make contact with people or groups he can help.
I woke up, I'm well rested, and I'm looking forward to today now. I just need to find my bearings.
Cork is a busy urban centre, welcoming tourists amidst the day-to-day clamour of a thriving city. Hoping to find out about the city's different areas, Warren heads to the local barbers to get some insight.
I haven't a clue where I am, so as is the best way to find out is really through the local people, and then take it from there.
Good morning, how are you?
Sit down there for yourself.
Cheers. Nothing too major today on the hair, just a bit of a trim.
No problem, no problem. How are you keeping?
I'm good.
Good.
I just arrived yesterday, so just...
Very good. How are they all in the capital?
Things are tough, but I keep hearing things are getting better.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I haven't seen it.
How long are you in Cork for? You for a few days, or?
I'm going to be here a week.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
going to be here a
great.
week.
You'd be like the secret millionaire, so.
I wish, yeah. I'm only about 990 grand short.
Well, what about the dubs this year? Will they win the double?
Do you know, you might as well be asking.
Stop.
You know, it's I'm the worst when it comes.
There's poor Trigger there now, look. How's the music going?
Not too bad, but
That's good. This is the man now. He's going to be our new #1 music man in Cork by.
And what are you doing, Trigger? What do you sing? You rap? Are you local?
Yeah, I'm just up the road and growing.
Cool. That's lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. How are you getting on?
Right.
So what are you playing there?
It's one of my ringtone off one of my videos on YouTube.
Hanging up in Grand Leaf was far from fucking pretty. Gritty little things taught me how to live and who to trust. None plus me to adjust before I come boss. Wishful thinking, the cost of living fell. People so broke that they're robbing from the wishing well. Answer me this question well, why is it depression sells sore a possession?
Where are you based?
Carabao, up the road there. Like 2 minutes now.
You wouldn't mind bringing me up, would you?
Yeah, why would you want to go up there?
I'm just in Dublin and or come from Dublin and down in Cork, and as I said, I'm doing a documentary on life in Ireland, especially for youths and everything like that. So I want to.
Just around the areas, local areas.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, I'm a Dublin lad. I haven't a clue in the area. So if you have the time, it'd be great.
Yeah, no bother.
Great.
Like other cities, Cork has its difficulties, with its own share of social problems, intergenerational unemployment, drug issues, and crime.
Tell me about the video.
Yeah, it's just about, basically it's a bird's eye view on one person that I seen historic and unfold over time.
And what was he on? Drugs and heroin, or
He was on heroin, yeah.
right? And with drug use, was it there, or is it something that's come on the scene in the last year or two?
Lately it seems to be just
Everywhere.
all the time, like, and it's not just heroin, it's like everything. Like, a lot of stuff that be going on in the place mightn't make the news, you know, like in Cork before you would hardly ever hear of gun crimes, you'd hear of stabbings and all that kind of thing, but like within the last even 2 months there's after been about 4 shootings. And
Have you been in trouble with the police yourself?
never know.
What do you think made that difference? What do you think was in you, should I say, really, that made you say, I'm actually not going to get involved, and I see it?
Just cop on, like, just having common sense.
I also had a tricky background, and I didn't go down your path. I went down the other path. Some people I always find are more, they're made of harder steel, and some people get very, affected with things. You know what I mean?
The product, your environment, I suppose.
Yeah, and it is amazing. Like, I always see, if you have brothers in a family and they're all the same mother, obviously the same father, and they just go down totally different paths.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird to see.
You could have the same as a fellow grows in the mansion. He could be bored because he's got too much money.
Yeah.
Whereas people around him mightn't have enough money, so then they get bored and they do other things. Like.
Yeah. That lad Trigger, I think he'd be probably a rare breed. I think a lad like him is an inspiration to a lot of people around here, because the temptation is to maybe rob cars or to go on drugs or whatever, because there's nothing else to do. So he learned his craft down in the hut. I want to get down there and learn a little bit more about that, so that's where I'm going to make my way down there today. I want to just learn a little bit more about what the centre's about and what it's doing for the community. Is there a rapper's hut here?
There is, yeah.
Whereabouts?
Warren makes his way to the Rapper's Hut, where Gary McCarthy tutors a group run by Youth Work Ireland for children who come together to write lyrics about their lives.
So, what you're doing here, what do you think that's fulfilling for the kids that are coming here? What type of need?
It gets them in doing something productive, something creative, and it gives them an opportunity to rap about their lives. And at the end of the day, rap is the voice of the street. So basically whatever happens from where you're from or what you grew up with or what you live, then basically that's what you're going to rap about. And some people use rap as a way just to let it all out. As Irish people, I think we're naturally born storytellers. We've lots of humour, lots of wit. So I think a lot of that can be brought into rap as well.
Can you show me some more of the tracks that you have on here today?
Definitely,
or what way that's working
so,
here?
Gonna do greedy rhymes again, Danny? Yeah? You're gonna do it nice and loud.
Look at me, starting from the bottom, heading for the top. I forget about the judgments, I never ever stop. I learn from my mistakes, yeah, I learn from them all. Don't be there for my climb unless you're there for my fall. See, I've seen a lot of people put down by their choices in life, finding it hard to get through each and every night. See, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action, doing what you want despite if you're scared, see.
Coming to the community centre here and been able to express yourself through rap, what can lads like your age do if they're not rapping?
Drinking, smoking.
What would your ambitions be if we were to move the clock forward a couple of years?
To what Gary's done.
How important of a figure has Gary been for you?
Very important. I won't be rapping like off Gary.
I'm absolutely blown away listening to the talent. A lot of these lads are very quiet, but when they're rapping, they're expressing themselves. They're singing about their local communities, you know, and there's a lot of things about drugs and suicide coming through their songs. If I was their age, I'd love to go to a place like this. I've got a really, really great buzz in there this morning, you know, it was brilliant. It was a very powerful experience being able to see kids going into an environment like that and really enjoying it. Coming from my own background, I didn't have those mentors. I needed maybe a sort of Gary in my life. Ah, the beans, the famous beans. You wouldn't have a bag or anything like that, would you? I can actually get as well. What's this?
It's for a coffee morning just in the Montanati Hotel for those bereaved by suicide.
Right, okay.
The hotel Montanati is just up the road on the right.
Okay, do you mind if I take that?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Hey.
Thanks very much.
Bye now. The bottom line is, if you have one character in your life that's able to grab you, take you under their arm, and tell you things are going to be okay, it's paramount in one's life moving forward. Living here, it's definitely, you've plenty of time to think about what's happened, what's going on, and reflection. The place I'm in, the food I'm eating, it's really back to basics, you know, and a lot of the time when you take away the things that you normally have in your life, it's a great sort of, in a way, sanctuary for me just to focus. With every new challenge, with every person I'm going to meet, I am fearful because I'm not always comfortable in certain environments. So I am, I have to say, a bit fearful of what's going to be ahead of me and am I going to be able to handle it.
The next day, and Warren has phoned ahead to meet Colette and Anthony Wolfe, who run You Are Not Alone, a self-funded voluntary group who offer coffee mornings for those touched by suicide.
I have to say, I'm a little bit nervous going in. I don't know what to expect. Colette, who's running the whole group today, has told me there's going to be quite a few people in here. The whole prerogative of today for me is just to listen, get some more understanding about suicide and what it means having the support of a group like this.
Today we've a special guest with us. We've Warren. The way it works, Warren, as it's your first time sitting in, get the volume, get the drugs.
Well, thanks for having me here, everyone.
But Catherine, my good friend, says we're the club that nobody wants to join. You know, I mean, it's something that wasn't in Cork, a coffee morning for suicide. It wasn't there for us, and it wasn't, and we just felt that together we get comfort from one another.
So, with the coffee mornings, how helpful, and I'm putting this out to the group, have they been?
I think it really did help me. I wouldn't say deal with it, but kind of like just it helped me kind of accept it that it did happen, and like that I'm not alone. It's a great feeling to know that.
It is,
you know?
yeah. Do you know, for me personally, it's normality.
Yeah.
Each of us know that, you know, that we're on that walk, and it's a hard walk, and I can look across the table or look alongside me, you know, to the people that are there. You'll always know if one of them are having a hard day, and there is hope there. I'm after being so blessed of the people that I'm after meeting since my daughter's death. They don't want nothing from me. They don't look for nothing off me. They like my company, and I like their company.
The only way you can release yourself of the emotions of suicide is to be able to express yourself, really.
It's dreadful for people to lose anyone at any age, or, you know, no matter what they die from. I can tell you here today, I find it so hard.
It just rips people apart, rips families apart. It just leaves no mercy. So, you know, people think they're in that, I know, at that critical point, like, you know, no one loves them, but they are loved, like, you know.
My brother was in the Navy. He was 29 years of age. He was married a year and a half, and he was just the life and soul of the party. He had no troubles, he wasn't into drugs or drink or anything. He just got depression. People ask why, or, you know, what happened. We're 15 years on nearly, and we still don't know why.
I heard so many different stories of husbands and daughters and brothers and sisters, and it's just harrowing to see that suicide can just absolutely wrench away someone's happiness and joy. That everyone is getting great inspiration from Colette and Anthony in what they're doing. I want to go a little bit further into it, and I've asked, can I go to their house and, you know, get a little bit more about You Are Not Alone and find out what makes them tick.
In March 2007, Colette and Anthony Wolfe, who set up You Are Not Alone, lost their daughter Leanne to suicide. She was 18 years old.
Can I see some photographs, actually, of Leanne?
Out of all the photographs, this one is my favourite. She turned the camera that way.
Lovely, beautiful looking girl.
Yeah, she didn't think that now, though. That was be with her with Trina, her sister. That would be when she was in school with her dad.
Proud father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's her there now again with her dad. And that's her there now as well.
Tell me, Colette, in relation to, you know, the day.
The day of her death.
Yeah.
Before Leanne died, we were taking a trip to Lanzarote. She was actually meant to go with us. And a couple of weeks, about 2 months beforehand, she changed her mind. We'd just gone into bed.
Yeah.
And Anthony's phone, Anthony would have had his work phone with him, and the phone rang. But we must have fell off to sleep. And Anthony sat up in the bed, and he said something like, he says, what? But I could know by his voice that, you know, something kind of churned in my stomach, you know, I was thinking something's wrong.
Sinking feeling, yeah.
All I was getting was just the call. He was saying, where is she gone, Aunt? Where is she gone, my son? And he was saying to him, where is she gone, Anthony? But what my son was saying on the phone, she's gone, Dad, she's gone, Dad. He couldn't say the word like that, she died, like, and And I remember he threw the phone down. Mr. said to me on the phone, she's dead, Dad. And he was crying. He was crying like, I never seen him cry. And he was kind of, an angry cry. And I looked at him and he says, Leanne is dead. And I said, see, I'm a nosy person, and just don't give me Leanne's date. I want to know how she died. She's had to take medication. You worry about him having an accident or drinking too much and getting sick in their sleep, but I never thought of suicide. And he says to me, Ma'am, they're after finding a nose. She writes it to Trina, her sister. Trina, I remember from my birthday card that you said the words, best sister. You're my only best friend. I always looked up to you. I love you so much. And Anthony, of course, that would be her brother. And then it says, I deep down, we were best friends, Trina. Things are perfect with you. You have a beautiful son whom I cherished like he was my brother. I want you to tell Mommy and Daddy I would have not chosen a better mom and dad. I'm really sorry. And then she have Leanne.
On the morning of Leanne's funeral, her sister Trina found some diaries in her bedroom giving a detailed account of 5 years of bullying.
This is Leanne's room. That would be her teddy.
Has it changed much?
No.
What was here?
Her clothes were all over the place, and for a girl that was going to end her life, her room was in a state. It was on the day of her funeral, really, that Trina found the diaries. They would have been underneath her bed. And you'll see the day she starts getting more serious, cause a dear diary,
Did the handwriting change when it got more serious?
Yes, the handwriting, and she'd go to pencil even at times. You'll see there now, a dear diary. Well, the past few days have clearly been the worst for me. She hit me straight in the face, and I have a big black eye. I am mortified. I couldn't even hit her back, and I know everybody's laughing at me. I'm going to a disco tonight, and I'm afraid in case she beats me in front of everyone. I've no real friends. Nobody's going to stand by me. I can't go on with this no more. I can't live with it no more. Really can't. It's not fair. What did I ever do to her or any of them for that matter?
Can I ask you, what would you say to young girls out there just slagging people's weight and they're making comments about their appearance?
Think of what you'd say to someone that can leave a lasting effect.
Nothing really prepares you for, a conversation like that. See, it saddens me that a woman has to look at someone's notes and her daughter's notes, sorry. I saw some of those notes today, and it's just horrific. It was a horrific thing to say. I personally wouldn't have had the strength. I made a connection there, and I'm not on the fence about doing some good there. I'm going to do some good there with You're Not Alone, because I couldn't walk away. As soon as Colette was 3 minutes in, I was there, and I got it. But I think it can be brought up to another level. And I hope they be receptive to it.
I didn't expect in this journey to be as emotionally involved as I have been. I didn't actually realise it was going to be as hard. I love Colette and Anthony, but I just, that was just a bit, that was overwhelming, you know? And then to wake up the next morning and go and visit someone else, you're sort of preparing yourself to think, I don't know how much more I can deal with this. I'm going to go down to Dungarvan, which is on the coast, and it's going to be nice just being able to just get away a little bit out of Cork City for the day and just do something totally different.
Warren is going to meet Ross Barrett, who runs a successful boxing club in Dungarvan.
Is Ross around?
Right there.
Warren wants to train and hang out in the gym, as he's heard that Ross is involved in mentoring young people in the area.
How you doing?
I'm Warren. How are things?
Warren, good to meet you, Warren, yeah?
Great gym.
Yeah? Thank you very much.
Warren learns that as well as the regulars who today are training at the gym, the club is sometimes used as part of a boot camp called Bad Boys Turned Good. Ross takes in wayward teenage boys on a program designed to get their lives back on track. Ross himself had a tough upbringing. This is what compels him to help young people.
So, Ross, how does the program actually work? The lad comes in, what are you expecting from him? What's going to happen?
Basically, he toes the line.
Yeah.
You know, he comes in, we have a set of rules. It's 10 rules.
Right.
They sign up to them. And then from there on, it's a zero tolerance boot camp style operation where we have them up at 7:30 in the morning. There's a structure to the day from early morning to 10 o'clock at night. First you clean the house, you come training.
So it's a one big house they stay in?
Yeah, it's a 3-bedroom house. Just
and do you pay for that? Or
yeah, I fund it. It comes out of my own pocket.
Right.
Everything we do here is funded from the gym.
Okay.
Ross invites Warren to see the house where the boys lived during the programme last year.
It's very stripped down. Is that purposely like no TV and things like that?
Oh, yeah, it is. No distractions, you know.
What's the thinking in that?
So they learn to live within the boundaries, you know, that nothing comes for free in life. Okay. And all we're asking them is to live within the basic rules. We teach them how to cook, we teach them how to clean, we teach them how to budget, you know.
So
you
you're
know, that's the
back and trying to just teach the basic principles of how to live?
Yeah, it is. You know, these guys would have never had that teaching in their own homes. They'd never had that teaching in their lives. Once you step through the door, you know, I mean, you live by the boundaries. For every choice they make, there's going to be consequences. You know, if a guy misbehaves once, we'll take something off him. If he might go to his bedroom, take away his mattress. Severe cases, if they really misbehave and they're really stepping outside the boundaries, you know, on a continuous basis, we'll take away their privacy. So that means removing the door, and then bit by bit you're going to earn that back.
Can we see the rooms?
Yeah, of course you can. This is your room, this is your space. You want to respect it, you know. Yeah. If you don't, again, you know, you're overstepping the mark. You have to give them some reward as well. You know, when they get the reward, they feel, oh, I've done something. Right. Do you know what? I made a good choice. I've got a reward. And as simple as that may seem, you know, it makes sense to them. Actually, by making sensible choices in my life, I have an easier time. Right. You know, I don't have police on my back. I don't have local people on my back. I can actually walk around, you know, and do something with my life. Right. You know?
Is it expensive?
The whole project on a yearly basis is quite expensive. There's no funding. I've tried applied for funding from local people who to go to, and you know, sure, in recession, there's nothing there available, but you just plough through.
Warren now meets Declan Palmer, who has completed the Bad Boys Turned Good programme.
Must have been difficult enough.
It was hard getting used to.
Declan was estranged from his father after his mother died and slipped into a very dark place where he drank to ease the pain.
So tell me about the pain and the numbness.
Well, pretty much, you know, that shows kind of a story of my pain there. Like, this is my reaction to my emotions, you know.
How long of a space of time did you
do that? In about a week. And there's 63 cuts there, I think, you know.
To do that in such a short space of time, there must have been unbelievable pain.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I was in such emotional turmoil. I was trying to search for pain, trying to feel that pain that I was, you know, yearning to actually feel, to know I was still alive, still had a soul, so to speak, you know.
And did you?
No, didn't feel any pain, and it took me a very long time to know that's not the answer.
Yeah.
Every time I look at them now, you know, it's really just reminding me of this pain, and it's there for the rest of my life, you know.
There'd probably be a handful, if that, of people you trust on this earth, is there?
There'll be a very small handful, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's hurt me so much in the past, you know.
It sounds like you really trusted Ross as well.
When he earned my trust fully was the day that he said, yes, I'll take you in. And then I knew he was a genuine person.
Right.
Really, it just kind of gave me that motivation to see people for who they are, no?
Yeah.
That there are genuine people out there. And you should never give up on those people. You know, it's been a vital part of my life, and it's shaped me to be who I am today.
Back at the gym, and it is busy with people training for a sparring session. Ross invites Warren into the ring to box with one of his regular gym members. The blows have an unintended emotional impact.
The ring is a funny place. It brings up new curveballs every second, and you might think you're paddling along lovely, and sometimes you get a belt in the head. When he hit me in the way he hit me, you know, there's a trigger that goes off in my brain. I don't like getting hit. I'm not a bit violent, but if someone is aggressive or hits me, I just get, it can bring it back very, very quickly. I was in a situation that I was been hit when I was younger by somebody that, you know, had no respect for me as a child. It could be for the simplest thing as not being able to hang your trousers properly. The person that was doing it to me was very big and very strong, and when you're only very young and you're very small and you're looking up like someone like that's like a house. I had a nervous disorder because I was petrified of doing anything. Luckily for me, that ironed out through the love of my grandmother, you know. Everyone has their own story, and everyone's pain is unique to them. I've seen real pain on this journey. Pain in people's faces that I haven't seen in a long time. And that's a great way to stir one's emotions.
I have a lot of decisions I need to make. I'm nervous about that. We're coming to sort of the decision time, and when I'm just really trying to grasp what I really need to do best, and I hope I make the right decisions.
At this point, I just don't know what I want to do.
Warren Logan is a successful businessman who's been working undercover in Cork on a secret search for people or groups to help. After a long and busy week, he is trying to make some difficult decisions. Warren wants to go back to the Rapper's Hut in Grona Broher Community Centre to find out more about Gary McCarthy, who runs the rap programme. First, he meets Youth Work Ireland director Eleanor O'Sullivan to talk about the programme's funding.
The kids that are coming here, what do you think brings them here?
The music is a great attraction to them, and this gives them the opportunity to express themselves.
And something like this all costs money, or what way is it, through grants or from
We're
local government?
funded from the Department of Children and Youth Affairs.
Okay.
And we would have experienced, I suppose, since 2011, over a 25% cut in our funding.
And probably more to come, I'd say.
More to come,
yeah. And I suppose you could start losing one or two kids back out onto those temptations on the streets, isn't it, really?
Good, yeah.
Have you tried it yourself?
No, I haven't, but I've listened to it a lot.
Cold, tired, hungry and desperate, eating scraps off a burger from some fiend who just left, they're barely getting by. No, every day is getting worse. What happened to her dream? She wanted to be a nurse, and if it couldn't get better, she's a baby on the way. A single mother smoking crack cause the father ran baby.
So obviously this has taken up a lot of your time doing these groups. What do you, Gary, get out of it?
I enjoy the feeling of helping them actually get it from idea stage to actually on a CD or on a phone. That's what I enjoy, and I suppose I enjoy the kind of buzz that they get off it, you know, when people start to like it and their friends start to like it. You know, it gives them that sense of confidence as well, and a sense of achievement as well, that they're actually putting finished pieces of music out there.
I see exactly what those kids get with Gary, and he's really into his rapping, and they get it, and he gets them, and that's a great way to be.
And point to yourself whenever you're mentioning I or we.
How simple a bit of listening has been able to harness that energy into a positive light, where these kids are able to express themselves through a mic, and actually these lines come out through the mic.
Every day dealing with this pain.
Living this life like it's only a game.
Every day dealing with this pain.
Things like this are really hard to change.
Warren's journey is coming to an end. Soon he will give away thousands of euro and reveal his true identity. He wants to meet Colette and Anthony Wolfe, who lost their daughter Leanne to suicide one last time at their home.
Hello, Colette.
Lovely to see you again.
How are you getting on?
Warren wants to find out where they got the strength to set up You Are Not Alone, a support group offering coffee mornings for those touched by suicide. He particularly wants to hear what their plans are for the future.
Leanne Luce loved, she loved horse jumping. They had a love for, like, you know, so we kept encouraging her to keep going at it, like, you know.
From that really sort of dark place, what do you think was what got you into the light?
At the start, as I said, I couldn't see no light out, like. So it didn't, like, as if it came like a magic wand, like. And then when you eventually give over, like, I can't do this on my own, like, you know what I mean? So I came to that point, and I said, Lord, I cannot do this on my own, you know. There's no way I can carry this, like, you know what I mean? So
The weight of it.
The weight of it, but that's what I feel like, where the light started coming in, this joy, this peace that we started getting.
Does it give you strength?
It does. The strength comes straight from God, because that's where we have it.
In relation to So You Are Not Alone, how are things for you now, and like, what's the future?
It's kind of been something in my heart that I would love to see it in every county.
It's about giving hope to other people as well, you know what I mean, out there, like, you know, so it's a stepping stone from, if it's going to help them to cope with it and to ease them, you know, ease their
It's
pain.
lovely, Warren, to walk away from someone knowing that you just listened, or to know that you gave a phone number, they mightn't be ready to talk.
It must be very, very difficult for you, just looking at that.
It's hard, like. It's hard when you look back, like.
She's beautiful in it, you know, how she is in her jammies, a young little girl, you know.
It's not natural, you know, not for me, like, not for a child to go before, you know what I mean? No, she was my baby. You know?
Well, I tell you, they're an absolute inspiration, the two of you, to everyone. And I've met everybody, and I've been touched greatly by some of the stories, and it's been a very emotional journey. And this has been a very therapeutic process for me this week, and I think probably one of the most rewarding experiences that I've ever had. When I go home and I have time to really digest everything, and when I really take it on board what's happened, I know there'll be a tremendous experience out of it. And I need to start taking it down a gear or two in work and bring it up a gear or two in my own personal life. And I also want to come back down here and reconnect all the time. And I need to not leave this journey at the train station. You know, I need to bring it into my life, because I was meant to do this in my own world, I really feel, you know?
After a sleepless night, Warren has decided how he wants to help the people he has met. He has told them that he wants to film a final goodbye, but in reality, he is about to donate thousands of euro towards their causes.
I've had a good bit of time to reflect. It's been a difficult decision, and I think I'm in a good place to make maybe some changes in these people's lives.
Warren's first visit takes him back to where he began his journey in Cork 8 days ago in Grona Broher.
I haven't been entirely honest with you.
I'm not a TV presenter.
Right.
We're not making a documentary about youth issues. The program's called The Secret Millionaire. And I've come down here, I'm blown away with what Gary's doing, and I want to give you something that I think will continue in the excellent work. I think you're a bit of a legend.
Nice one. Did you know about this?
There you go.
Jesus. Thanks a million.
No problem, man. Keeping it real.
I didn't expect this at all. I didn't have a clue. It's fantastic. It's really good. It's going to be a huge help for the coming year, and just to develop the project and get more people involved. For someone like Warren to come in and actually give a damn about what was actually going on here and see the benefits that it does actually have, and not many people do actually see the benefits of things like rapping and music.
Well, I think if only more towns and villages and cities had more Garys and do the work, I think it would be unbelievable, wouldn't it?
This money will allow us to actually kind of be able to get in people for more workshops and to continue doing it maybe twice a week instead of once a week, or maybe 3 times a week, because that's what people want.
Appreciate that. No problem at all. Gary, seeing him with the kids, what he's doing, you know, he's particularly impressed me at the centre. The way he's able to connect and give trust to kids, give hope, and let them express themselves. And I hope today my small gesture of goodwill lets him continue on the unbelievable work.
Next, Warren makes his way to Dungarvan.
So I sort of feel like I'm nearly going in having to propose, and I'm really nervous about going in here. I don't know why, but I am. So basically, anyway, we're coming down to say our final goodbyes.
Yeah.
And Ross, you know, I haven't been entirely honest with you. And that's because, being honest, I don't think you know how actually good you are.
Right.
But I know, because I was a lad in a bad place. And if I had had someone like you in my life when I was growing up, I think it would have made my journey a lot shorter. Thankfully, I'm in a position to maybe put a little bit of brightness and a future into what you're doing. So, I have something for you.
What's this? No way.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I hope it does something good. I know it will. Brilliant. Well done.
I'm lost for words, you know. I mean, that's going to go such a long way to build this program more and more, you know, that we can, you know, reach out there better, you know.
I was nervous about meeting you because I didn't want you to take me doors off at night.
Thank you. Surprised. Shocked. You know, and surprised, yeah, you know. It's a lovely one. You know, to have something like this handed to you and have you know, somebody like Warren come down and say, you know, I believe in your project, I believe that what you're doing is great, you know. It just gives you so much more belief. Thank you very much. Superstar.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. You know, you probably have to come back next week before I'll be able to speak again, you know.
There's not many characters I'm ever going to meet in my life that are doing as good a work as he's in there, you know. So it's a special day, and it's what I signed up for, and it's the reason why I'm here. So I'm really, really touched.
Lastly, Warren will reveal his true identity to Colette and Anthony Wolfe.
You always wonder, do they have any inclination about what's ahead in the conversation we're going to have? But I think in the long thrust of things, it's going to be irrelevant, because this is going to be a magic moment for both of us, and I'm really looking forward to going in there and hopefully making a difference in their lives. Hello, Anthony. How are you getting on?
Very good yourself.
How have you been? Where's the lady herself? I haven't been entirely honest with you. I'm not a TV presenter, and we're not making a program about youth issues. You invited me into home and you told me a story that touched a place in my heart that I didn't even know was there.
Is this a wind-up?
No, it's not a wind-up, you know. And I'm in a fortunate situation that I'd like to give you something towards. You're not alone.
I'm not easily shocked. People don't shock me, but this has kind of blown me away. I think, do you know, like, this is something that you'd see on the telly. Do you know what I mean? It's like something that kind of, oh my God, you're not getting away with just a handshake. And I can give you a cup of coffee, darling, can't kill me. I was like, oh my God.
I know, I have to say,
I'm overwhelmed.
Oh my God, you pulled the wool off my eyes. I can't believe that.
Just don't kill me.
I can't believe that. I can't believe I just can't. I can't get my head a whole around it, but I know that, you know, that money is going to be used for good, and it's going to be used for people that are, you know, in trouble.
I'm overwhelmed.
I know when I was talking to them, I made the right decision.
Oh my God.
Your family, no, you know that.
I think we're going to remain good friends. If they need my services with other things, I'm there for them. But one of the most magical days I've ever had. It was absolutely beautiful, you know, really nice. I'll go home with appreciate everything just that little bit more, because it's not all about are you doing well in business or are you not. There's other values in life, and sometimes you do forget that. This is an experience that I'll never ever forget for the rest of my life. It's going to take me a while to digest, but you know, my granny used to say, as long as my arse is facing the ground, I'm never ever going to forget this journey. It was an absolute delight.
And if you've been affected by issues raised in this episode of The Secret Millionaire, you can find support information on RTE Airtel page 700. That's RTE Airtel page 700. Next tonight, it's prime time.